Welcome to another episode 24 of URC Chumps podcast. I see we're getting on quite well. Apparently, we hit over 1,000 views on YouTube. So please remember, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep this growing. I've got some plans for this podcast. If it grows even more, where we will actually interact with you at games, but we have to get to that point first. But anyway, I've got Jacques here with me. How are you doing, Jacques?
I'm good. I'm just tired. It's been a hectic couple of weeks. I'm happy the Sharks won. And no, it's not just because they won that I'm back. It's just I had some time now.
Andrew, see, I did tell him that you said you only seem to see him after the Sharks have won. But
Andrew,
anyway,
I'm a busy man. I've got rugby, I've got cricket, I've got work, I've got coaching, I've got refereeing. But anyway,
yeah, yeah. See, guys, it's things like this. If you reach out to us, we'll interact with you in these things, and we'll give you shout outs like Andrew Stennekamp. Check you later, bud. Um, yeah, this week I must be honest, I didn't really watch rugby. Like I said to you beforehand, I was actually at the Mumbai Indian Cape Town versus the luck down Durban Super Giants, watching Cape Town beat the Super Giants with the super bonus point. But we hear about rugby, not about cricket. I did watch a bit of the highlights of my game. It looked like we had the game at some point, like it wasn't away from us, and then we kind of just
drop the
we
ball.
just lost. Yeah, we just dropped the ball. We did. I don't know if it's just the traveling that kills us. I don't know what's up. It's just we didn't even look like we were there at the game.
I was actually, my girlfriend came to visit me, and we were watching the Sharks game, and we had the phone here on the one side just to show the score the whole time. And half time, I think it was 10-7 half time,
Yeah,
and just so we're still happy and it's all going well, and then just all of a sudden 15-7, 27, and I just said, let's just leave it.
yeah.
But like I said, I was watching the Sharks, happy all the way.
Yes. And I mean, like I mentioned in there was the Mbimpi incident. And it's funny how the whole world went and pointed like eye gouging, which when I looked at it, what didn't quite look like eye gouging. But I mean, what's funny is as soon as a South African does it, everybody's up in arms. But like if someone else does, it's like, I mean, a couple of years ago we had Alan Alatoa, where you can actually literally see him in front of Wayne Barnes, who at that stage was also one of the top refs, like go for the eyes, and nothing was done. But yet everybody likes to shout eye gouging at South Africa.
But I think it's time for Mapimpi to step down.
Hmm.
Uh,
He's getting a bit too
he's
hot
not on.
headed.
Yeah, that's actually his temper is way too short. I think was it last week that he grabbed the guy when he scored the try. He just grabbed him on the throat for no reason,
That was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
and and now
But we'll get.
this incident
Yeah.
again. But
Yeah. We'll get back to that now. Let's first look at it. I mean, Ospreys, an absolutely convincing win against Benetton, 43-0 at home for the Ospreys. I I know. I think I saw a thing on someone put up a stat that apparently 1% chance of Ospreys getting through to the playoffs. Right now, they look like they're on the right path. Um, they look like they're on the right path to definitely making a playoff. I mean, Stormers
oh,
are sitting at
definitely.
60 odd right now. I think those odds have definitely dropped now. I don't even think we even going to make it. I mean, if we get to a Challenge Cup position, I think we'll be lucky. The way we're going. Then one that your girlfriend was probably very happy with you because apparently she was with you. Uh, the Bulls beating the Lions away from home at Ellis Park across the URC River. But to be honest, I was expecting that that Lions team started off well, but it seems like they lost their they took off the training wheels. It looks like they've lost their balance.
Hmm.
Um, they are still very exciting. You have to give it to them as a young team, but that experience of the Bulls definitely came through at the end of that game. I watched some highlights today at work. Sorry. But yeah, it, it to me it just looks like they started off well. They started off hot. I was actually gunning for them. I would have put money on them if they had kept up that momentum, but they just seem to have lost it. And I'm sorry to say that they're cracking under pressure. And I don't think they're going to step up anymore. I think we saw them peak. Now they're just becoming a average team. Not right now.
I actually have nothing to say on that because I actually agree with you 100%. Um, I think they're worn out, they're tired, and I think the other teams are just more fit than them. Because the last couple of, let's say, the last 15 minutes, I also just watched some of the highlights, but you can see the last 15 minutes, there was no effort, there was nothing. They just lost it.
I mean, they got that one prop who I don't know. When you hear the commentators talk about him, they think how great he is. 140, I think 143 kgs. I'm sorry, that guy's just he's weight. There's not much else to him. Netling for sure pushed straight through him when they went up against
Mm.
him. The- I hate talking about that, especially here in South Africa, when it comes very how can it can become very politically what you call it, because people think
Yeah.
you're just saying this, but listen, he's got weight behind him, but for me that's all he's got. He doesn't have what it takes to put on a green and gold jersey.
No, no, definitely not. But if I'm not mistaken, there was a couple of overseas clubs that was interested in him, or that is interested in him. I could be wrong, but yeah,
Yeah. Then we had Scarlets hosting Edinburgh. Scarlets coming off on top there, 30-24. Looks like Scarlets are starting to drag something back, and hopefully they take that into the Six Nations from Wales. The what's called
yeah,
Stormers away at home at Leinster. To be honest, I thought we were probably going to lose again, but not by that level. Like we said earlier, it just looks like Stormers lost gas. They almost seem to look like they in the game, and then all of a sudden they just give too much slack and it just goes away. And
yeah,
discipline lets him down and everything like that. I know there was a whole talk of what's his name? Dion Ferry was busy talking about the fact that he was complaining to the ref about the fact that while they were trying to make their calls, the Irish players were making noises and interrupting and everything like that. Which, to be honest, with the new laws where they're trying to speed up, there needs to be a line that you have to say, "Hey guys, first we're trying to get the game going. Respect has to go both ways."
yeah. I agree, John. Definitely.
Um, so yeah, and I mean, I saw a whole bunch of articles saying the Irish black magic, which thinking about it, beforehand it used to be like the New Zealand black magic and everything like this. Now that we're not in Super Rugby, and New Zealand's become quite an average top tier nation team, it looks like they're trying to take the spotlight away from them and move it across. And Ireland just seems to be putting up their hand right now.
Yeah, well, if you compare the two teams between New Zealand and Ireland, the way Ireland has picked up and the All Blacks has gone down,
Mm,
somebody has to take over.
yeah,
So it could just can be Ireland. There's nothing wrong with that. They're all a good
but
team, and I think they deserve it.
yeah, but then the one South African team that went away, Sharks beating Cardiff. Um, with the has been like in Bimpy. I don't. I mean, I don't really see him going beyond in the next 2 years. Maybe going in the squad as a mentor for some of the youngsters. But the problem is the youngsters are quite experienced themselves already. So I mean,
Mm.
do they pull like they did in the World Cup where they don't take an extra wing, but they use a utility back like a Sacha or as much as you hate him and Damian Willemse are in the squad. Sorry, I know you don't like him, and I do, but I'm saying like when it comes to selection, do you actually turn around and say, okay, cool, we're gonna drop a winger and put in someone's utility that can cover a whole bunch of positions?
Well, if you take with all the talent that we've got in South Africa, we don't. There's not a problem with any backs, and if you take well, now I want to say 90%, 50% of our backs can play wing or fullback or even center if they have to. So
But I mean,
Mapimpi is not needed anymore. He can go.
you saying that I must be honest, Lorenzo Julius and Jonathan Ross, right now, those two youngsters are putting up their hands big time. I'm enjoying watching those guys. I'm enjoying watching the highlights of them. I wouldn't pair them up right away. I would put them with like a Delinde and or even a Creel to give them that that seniority to say like, hey, calm down, okay, go, kind of thing.
You see,
But
if you take this weekend for example, I think this was actually. I don't think if it was the first time or it happened before that Lorenzo Julius was picked above Lukanya because was
I
on
know
the bench.
Has had a few injury things. I don't know if it's just they're holding him back to make sure he stays fit. To
Either or, but for a youngster like Lorenzo Julius, if the starting lineup goes up and his name is on the starting lineup and a guy like Lukanya is on the bench, that has to be a mental booster for you as Lorenzo Julius to say, yes, look, he's got the potential. I agree 100% with you. Maybe give him a shot at the end of the year tour. Maybe this mid-year series against Italy, give him a go. I think he's good enough. But to get that boost for being picked, can you still hear
but I
me?
mean, yeah, I can still hear you. But I mean, my thing is, and you probably heard me say it a couple of times, and I'll probably say it a million other times. Of someone like Julius and Ross, who have been putting up
Oh,
their
there you
hands
go.
big time, in the season, they should have the opportunity to go with the team, even if it's bag carrying and be the ball boy or
100%.
something like that. Get them involved in the whole team. Get them used to the structure, the fellowship, and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That when they finally do get that opportunity, it's not like, oh, it's my first game. It's like, okay, cool, it's my first game, but I know this guy. This guy and myself have been bunking together, or this guy has been talking to me over breakfast. This guy has been telling me, look here, when you want to pass the ball like this, rather,
Yeah, yeah.
it becomes a bit more fluid with them. And I do think, but I mean, you look at someone like Rassi. I mean, last year, 51 players in a calendar year. It's not impossible. If you are playing and you qualify for South Africa, you pretty much going, I can actually play for the Springboks, because not everybody's position is set. Yes, there are the
100,
senior players that
100%.
are like there, but I can actually slot in for a game or two, and
Mm.
that's when you put up your hand. But yeah,
No,
and then
100%.
unfortunately, as you can see, Dara's not with us. He's having a bit of bad luck at the moment. So we're gonna give him his space for now, but his team beating Dragons 1938. Again, Dragons whipping boy. Were you expecting anything else? The Glasgow and Connacht was pretty close, which makes games fun, along with Ulster and Zebra. Oh, Ulster lost to Zebra at home. Oof. But is that because they're missing senior players?
Sorry, Dora. I watched a bit of that game. Seeing Ulster is your second side. I was saying to myself, please, Ulster, don't pull a Munster, and boof, pull the Munster.
No, they pulled the one worse than Munster. Munster at least lost away from home. Ulster
Oh
lost
crap!
at home.
Oh crap!
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, we might as well talk about next week as well because even though it's Six Nations, we'll go look at the Six Nations games now. But the Bulls are hosting this, or they're
No,
going to the
Stormers
Storms.
hosting.
Yeah, Stormers are.
Mm.
I mean, the way it's going right now here in the Cape, we have such a huge influx from people from Gauteng coming here. It might be the Bulls hosting Stormers at home. But yeah, so next week, yeah, there isn't any Six Nations, but there is this week right now, France going up against Wales, Scotland versus Italy, and Ireland versus England. Now, France are definitely going to
Yo.
win that game
Oh yeah.
against Wales. As much as I would love Wales to break their losing streak, you're going to a team that's pretty much on form right now, at home, in probably one of the most hostile rugby environments in the world when it comes to support.
100%.
Yeah. Scotland versus Italy. Italy's been doing pretty much a lot better at the moment, but I do think Scotland is going to pip this one.
Yeah, I also think Scotland will take it.
Then England going across the channel to Ireland. I'm going to have to put my money on Ireland on this one. South African supporting Ireland. I just think there's too much happening in the English squad. There's been quite a few injuries lately that people have been having to drop out. But yeah,
I have decided, seeing I do not like either one of those teams,
a
I'll
draw.
go for a 10-all draw.
A 10-all draw. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
if this happens, oh my god, you're gonna be running around Natal, waving your shirt around, going, yeah.
Okay, maybe let's make it a 21-all draw. 21-all.
Okay.
10 is a
Even
bit that score.
even still, even if you if you get that right, I can just imagine you going, yeah, running around. I think for you, you want Scotland definitely to win because they
Oh yeah.
got Dylan Richardson in the team, who is a Sharks supporter. I mean, not
Sharks
supporter and
player.
player. Yeah,
Well,
and everything like
I
that.
just like,
So
I want them to win because they've got the most beautiful anthem in the world. It's not an anthem. I just say it's not an anthem, but they've got the beautiful song in the world.
no, I will give it to. I do love that Murrayfield thing where they play the bagpipes on the roof
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I would love just to go to Murrayfield just to experience that. I don't care what game I go watch. I'll even go watch Scotland versus who's the worst team in the world. I don't care.
India.
Kenya, India, Sri Lanka, who even got banned for match fixing.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
I
They
couldn't
got
believe it.
suspended. Yeah. Yes. So I would love just to go just to listen to that, and especially when they stop and the crowd just carries on. It's so
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, that is an amazing. It gives me some more goosebumps just by thinking about it.
Same here. But I mean, we also need to talk about news. Matt Busby is retiring, but only at the end of the season. Apparently, it wasn't quite the Hanson out outburst that happened. It was just more of a that was the cherry on the top and everything.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, refs do take a lot of abuse. I mean, I know from refereeing just here club level, and you probably even know yourself. Um, it does get a bit hard. I also do think it's because there's no real, how can I say, discipline for bad games or anything like that, or that we know of. It's not publicly known. I
mm.
think if it was publicly known, it'll probably be a little less, controversial where we go after the ref or people go after the ref. I think it was if it would be like The ref will be dealt with. This is the outcome. People might be a little bit like, okay, cool. You know what? He's human. He makes mistakes. But yeah, Busby.
I'll see if I can find out if there is such things, but then I'll get back to you in next week on
Yeah.
that.
The thing is, like I said, I do believe it needs to be a little bit more outspoken about it. It mustn't be all
Definitely.
behind the scenes. We need to know that it's happening because this is what's happening. Is people don't know that things are happening behind the scenes, and they just think, oh, the ref's not refereeing next week. Nothing happened. There wasn't a oh, okay, cool. Listen, that was a bad call.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take one of the greatest things for South Africa, Point, where he gave Bismarck a red card after 2 yellows, but like both calls were turned over by IRB and he was unsanctioned. But the problem is we got nailed in that game because we lost the
Mm.
hooker. We lost the player, and it wasn't a 20-minute red card at that stage. That was full on. You got a red
Full
card.
on.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, we'll have to see. But anyway, yeah. I mean, other news beyond that, the whole there's now I see articles saying that Dobson made a call and a gamble and it didn't work out. But the problem is he seems to be making too many gambles.
yeah.
And it's one of those things like when the gamble pays off, yeah, you look amazing. But I think Jean de Villiers said it best about Warwick Galant is he does these phenomenal fancy things, and when it works beautifully. But when
But
it
if it
doesn't,
fails, it fails.
it fails horribly, and he doesn't stick
Yeah.
to the basics. And sometimes you just need to go, okay, stick to the basics. I used to call it the Stormers battering ram, where they used to grab and batter. As the guy
Mm.
got tackled, he was already down forming the ruck. I don't know why that got stopped.
We actually had a discussion. We had one of the ex or still SA rugby refs here by us. When was it? I think it was Thursday. His name is Archie. And we were wondering why the whole structure around rugby has changed. It's as if they are being coached. If you on the halfway line, you box kick. If you 15 meters in from the touchline, then you box kick. If you there, you do this. If you here, you do this. And they don't play what is in front of them anymore. If you see the gap, you go. You don't need to pass. But because they're in that area, they are being taught this is what needs to happen.
It's almost
So
like
I
a NFL kind of thing. You know, you get your first, second, third down, fourth down, you kick.
you have to kick, yeah, and that is ridiculous because now you the same pattern happens all over the world.
Yeah.
I kick off to you, you form a ruck, scrum off, poof, kicks the ball either into touch or up high. Why? But I don't want to. I don't want to get too much into it because then my blood is going to start boiling again.
You know, I'm one of those that I believe a kick like that should be done between halfway between the 10 and the 22, and you're 22.
Yeah,
If you're losing ground, then
yeah.
you go for that kick. I do understand if you're on your line and you win the ball back and you need that, you quickly kick it out, hoping to get. I I know they all went with this whole 50-22, and I mean there was a stage where the Stormers were getting a 50-22 every single game. That's not just.
Mm,
I don't even think we've won the season yet. And uh, the thing is, it was Marnie Libok and Warwick Galant who were getting those 50-20, along with Damien Willemse, who were getting those
mm.
50-22s on a regular basis because they had that perfect low kick that just skidded
Yeah.
and it was a bit hard. You don't see that anymore. It's like, okay, cool, that worked. Now we're going to take it away from you. But that was something that was working for us. We were in that position. We kicked, but we kicked to get the 50-22. If not, it already turned the defense around, which gave us enough time to push up and get to the point that probably they kick one back out in a closer position than we were to the try line.
And you're still gaining ground.
Yeah, you're still getting the territory advantage. But yes, are you that tired that even your camera's going to sleep?
I don't know what the hell is happening. It's now the second time. Yeah.
You know what, Jacques? I'm not going to keep you up much longer. I'll let you go to sleep.
I am tired. I've been awake since like 3:45 this morning. I've got a fitness test tomorrow. It's hectic.
And don't you have a written exam as well?
As well, law exam.
Yeah. No, not so law as in like the bar, law as in rugby. So he can give a little bit more insight on certain rules.
Yeah, we've got that law exam. And if I get, I think, above 80 and my fitness is up to par, I will hopefully be nominated to go onto the Natal referee panel.
Does that mean we'll probably see you in the Curry Cup?
Probably running touch or something, but not refereeing, not yet.
Okay. When you come to Cape Town, remember you need to organize me a ticket.
You're funny. You're funny.
I won't abuse you. I'll abuse the other guys, not you.
Yeah, we'll see. It's my goal for this year is to get onto the referee panel for Natal.
Okay.
Yeah, I've already done my coaching of match officials course as well. So if I get onto the Natal panel, I think that'll open a bit of doors for me. And that's the goal. Well, the goal for the year. Seeing I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that I just turned 36.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. And that's a reference to all gold tomato sauce. You can go YouTube it and go look for 36 all gold tomato sauce. You'll get the joke with the 36.
36. 100%.
But yes, anyway, please remember, guys, like, share, and subscribe for us. Let's grow this community even bigger. Like I said, hopefully, if we can get to a certain point, we can start doing a whole bunch of events with you guys. And also, don't forget to interact. Like, we just gave Andrew a shout out because he gave me a comment about Jacques. And yeah, give us one of those. We'll bring it up in the conversation as well. But yes, Jacques, all the best for tomorrow, man. My fellow champions, Thanks. Be safe.
Cheers.